Alrighty, gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another video. And guys, Avowed is finally here in early access. Now, before we get into today's video, I do want to give a special shout out and thank you to Microsoft for hooking me up with an early access key for Avowed. And today we are playing on Xbox Series X. In today's video, I'm just going to go through with you guys for some of my recommended settings for Avowed. Now, a lot of these are going to apply to my experience because I'm someone that prefers to play in third person. Now, however, if you're more of a first person player, I will show you some things I recommend you turning off and on for first person, and I'll be sure, to clarify on both as we go through them. Things like, audio and really simple common sense stuff we're probably going to skip over. I'm just going to mainly do like graphical settings, UI, and stuff like that, that can probably benefit your gameplay, performance, and experience, and all those kind of things. But anyway, if you want more Avowed content, make sure you're smashing that like, subscribe here if you're new, give me a chance to earn it, and let's go ahead and get into the settings. So, you're going to want to go ahead and hit start or your Windows key and go right to the settings menu. That is probably the common sense part. Here at the display thing, I'm playing on Xbox Series X. If you're playing on S, you may want to consider, tuning some of these things down. However, I have heard that the game is really well optimized even on Series S. So, just play around a little bit if you're using a Series S. That's all. I'm just throwing that warning out there. It is a weaker console. I have my field of view set at 95. They say they strongly recommend keeping this at 90. I bumped mine up a little bit. I'm not having any problems. I have my rendering mode set to balance. You do have performance and you do have quality. I would say quality or balanced in this case because this game even runs buttery smooth at 30 FPS, which is probably going to sound weird. Balanced is a good mixture of quality and higher performance mode. As you guys can see, even here it tells you that balance is actually only supported on 120 hertz screens. So the game looks really crisp and has a great frame rate in this mode. When you put it on performance, it prioritizes the frame rate, but it looks just a little bit too grainy. Balance is that perfect option. So if you guys have a 120 hertz screen, I would highly recommend balanced. But if not, you'll be safe with quality. Quality looks really clean and good, but I know some people prefer the 60 FPS. But I'm just saying, if you have the option, I'd really recommend balanced. And I'll even run around for a bit and show you guys some of this stuff. The difficulty, because the combat in Avowed is actually somewhat challenging. Like there's a stamina bar system and everything. I would recommend for your first playthrough going on normal. However, if you want to test yourself and do hard or something like that, that's completely up to you. Autosave frequency, to each their own. I have mine set to 5 minutes. I just left that there. That's fine. Auto track quest mode on quest complete, on new quest. That's completely, again, another one that's up to you. I just keep it on complete. The tutorials, I have them on because it's a new game, playing it for the first time. Reminders, same thing. Crouch mode and sprint mode, I would set both of these to toggle. Come on, it's an action RPG. I don't think you want to be holding those down. Now, if you're playing on PC and mouse and keyboard, maybe. But if you're playing this on Xbox, yeah, I would definitely have those set to toggle. Me, like I said, I play in third person. Now, because I like playing in third person, I turn a lot of this head bobbing stuff off. I turn the camera shake all the way down and all that stuff. I don't even know why my world camera shake came back up. I think that might have been a bug or something. I've turned that off. I've turned it off twice now. But camera shakes, I turned all that stuff off. To me, camera shake just makes games look like they're losing frames more. I don't like the camera shake thing. I think it looks a lot smoother when you're casting spells. You got all the effects going on and the screen's not shaking along with it. Auto activate companion abilities, I would personally turn that off. Unless you just want them to auto attack while you're fighting, that's completely fine. Incoming attack warnings, until you get used to the game's combat and and the timing of a lot of the monsters, I would keep this on. Combat blood, completely up to you. Hit flash mode, I have mine set to always because I always want to know when my hits are connecting or when I'm being hit or when I'm taking damage or when I'm giving damage and stuff like that. The hit flash makes it obvious. Whenever you hit something, there's a slight flash whenever you hit something or get hit, etc., etc., etc. Aim assist, completely up to you. If you're using like a bow and arrow or a gun, you may want to keep that on, or if not, take it off. It's not a competitive shooter or anything, so I wouldn't stress aim assist too bad. Dodge align to target. This, turn that off, okay? Because it tries to keep you aligned with your target when you're dodging attacks, and this has a stamina based dodging system, kind of like a Souls game. I'm not saying it plays like a Souls game, but it has that stamina dodging. You want full control over your dodge, especially if I have to pay for dodges, if they're costing me stamina. I want full control over it. I don't want you guys, trying to keep me by the target and stuff like that. And I've actually had that get me hit a few times when I was fighting bears earlier. So dodge align to target, I would turn that off so that way you have more control. If you still want to get used to the dodges, the slow time on dodge hit, turn that on. What it basically does is it just puts it in slow motion when you're dodging, so that way it's a lot easier to dodge attacks. Audio, all this is preference based, to each their own. UI, I do have a few recommendations I would give for in here. Show conversation responses immediately. I keep that off, and hide failed dialogue checks. I don't really care about that too much. Auto continue conversations, I would turn this off, especially if you're busy and tend to walk away from the game a lot. That way you're not missing any dialogue and stuff like that. In these kind of games, especially these action RPGs, games like Skyrim, Fallout, The Outer Worlds, this and stuff like that, you definitely don't want to miss any conversations, because there's a lot of interesting information they can give you about where an item is, a quest or anything. And let's say you get up to use the bathroom, you just missed that information and you have no idea. Interaction icons, I would keep those on. Loot shimmer, definitely keep that on. It helps items stand out on the field when you're looking for them and trying to find them. Display identifier on the player character sheet, that's completely up to you. And then the subtitle settings, again, that's all preference based. The HUD, there is no photo mode, but you can turn the HUD off, get a good angle, take some banging pictures, just so you know. Region names, objective markers, damage numbers, and stuff like that. You're playing an RPG. I'm sure you want to know how your build's doing, how much damage you're doing, and stuff like that. I would keep all of that stuff on. Your compass stuff and everything. Leave all that stuff on. I wouldn't shut any of that off. Now, accessibility. A lot of this stuff will actually have seen already. Some of this was in the display section. But like I said, local camera shake, world camera shake, I turn all of that stuff off. Now, camera sway and head bobbing, if you play in first person and you're all about the immersion, I would go ahead and keep those on, if you really like getting that full immersed first person experience. But if you're playing in third person like me and you're not really worried about it, take the head bobbing stuff off. It doesn't really do anything for you in third person. It's definitely more of a first person kind of thing. And like I said, a lot of these things, see hip flash and all that, a lot of this stuff was already in the display and game section. Now, when it comes to your controller, your dead zones, sensitivities, and stuff like that, to each their own. I'm not going to tell you where to put your sensitivity, and you guys, you feel it out, feel what's good for you. I even tell people that same thing in first person shooters. Controller preset, unfortunately, there's no way to fully customize your controls, or at least as of yet. They only have default and southpaw, and what southpaw basically does is it switches the options of move and looking around, for someone who has different hand setup or anything like that. But guys, that's pretty much it, and very simple. This is how clean and crisp my game looks, with the display settings I have. Again, I'm on a 120 Hz 1440p monitor, so I'm able to use the balanced option. But just so you guys know, this is how good balanced looks when you play it on Xbox Series X. Balanced is the most clean option of the three. Don't get me wrong, quality looks really good. It's a beautiful picture. But if you want high frame rate and a great picture, balanced is definitely the way to go. Anyway, if this guide helped you, smash that like. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.